ॐ शुक्लां भरधरं विष्णुं शशिवर्णं चतुर्भुजं प्रसन्नवदनं ध्यायेत् सर्वविघ्नोपशान्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः। अगजानन पद्मार्कं गजाननमहर्निशम् अनेकदन्तं भक्तानाम् एकदन्तमुपास्महे। श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। गुरवे सर्वलोकानां विषजे भवरोगिणां निधये सर्वविद्यानां श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां श्रीहयग्रीवमुपास्महे। श्रीहयग्रीवमूर्तये नमः। सरस्वती नमस्तुभ्यं वरदे कामरूपिणि विद्यारम्भं करिष्यामि सिद्धिर्भवतु मे सदा। श्रीमहासरस्वत्यै नमः। उमाकोमलहस्ताब्जसम्भावितललाटकं हिरण्यकुण्डलं वन्दे कुमारं पुष्करस्रजं। வெற்றிவேல் முருகனுக்கு ஹரஹரோஹரா. லோகவீரியம் மகாபூஜ்யம் சர்வரக்ஷாகரம் விபும் பார்வதி ஹிருதயானந்தம் சாஸ்தாரம் பிரணமாம்யகம். சுவாமியே சரணமையப்பா. वागर्ताविव सम्पृक्तौ वागर्त प्रतिपत्तये जगतः पितरौ वन्दे पार्वती परमेश्वरौ। श्रीपार्वती परमेश्वराभ्यां नमः। कोमलं पूजयन् वेणुं श्यामलोऽयं कुमारकः वेदवेद्यं परं ब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। अस्मद्गुरुचरणारविन्दाभ्यां नमः। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। श्रीकृष्ण गोविन्द हरे मुरारे श्रीनाथ नारायण वासुदेव। पीताम्बरं करविराजितचक्रशङ्खकौमोदकी सरसिजं करुणासमुद्रं राधासहायम् अतिसुन्दरमन्दहासं वातालयेशम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। कृष्णो रक्षतु मां चराचरगुरुः कृष्णं नमस्ये सदा। कृष्णेनैव सुरक्षितोऽहमसकृते कृष्णाय दत्तं मनः। कृष्णादेव समुद्भवो मम विभो कृष्णस्य दासोऽस्म्यहं। कृष्णे भक्तिरचञ्चलास्तु भगवन्। हे कृष्ण तुभ्यं नमः। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं नम्राणां सन्निधत्ते सततमपि पुरस्तैरनभ्यर्थितानपि अर्थान् कामानजस्रं वितरति परमानन्दसान्द्रां गतिं च। इत्थं निःशेषलभ्यो निरवधिकफलः पारिजातो हरे त्वं क्षुद्रं तं शक्रवाटी ध्रुममभिलषति व्यर्थमर्त्यव्रजोऽयम्। श्रीगुरुवायूरप्पा शरणं श्रीभट्टपादम् अनिशं हृदि भावयामि। वंशी विभूषितकरात् नवनीरधाभात् पीताम्बरात् अरुणबिम्बफलादरोष्टात् पूर्णेन्दुसुन्दरमुखात् अरविन्दनेत्रात् कृष्णात् परं किमपि तत्त्वमहं न जाने. കൈരണ്ടും കുപ്പി ഞാൻ വീണ്ടുമീറക്കുന്നു നീരജലോചന നിന്നോടായി. ഏതീനു മന്യനെ കുമ്പിടേണ്ടാത്തോരു രീതിയിൽ നീ എന്നെ പാലിക്കുന്നായി. കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ ജയ കൃഷ്ണ ഹരേ. Good morning, everyone. All right, so we'll just do a review of 62. Baiju, can you do one half, and Priyam, you can do one half.
Sure. कदाचित् गोपालान् विहितमकसंभारविभवान् निरीक्ष्य त्वं शौरे मघवमदमुध्वंसितुमनाः विजानन्नप्येतान् विनयमृदुनन्दादिपशुपान् अपृच्छ को वायं जनक भवतामुद्यम इति भपाशे नन्दस्त्वां सुतननुविधेयो मखवतो मखो वर्षे वर्षे सुखयति सवर्षेण पृथिवीम् नृणां वर्षायत्तं निखिलमुपजीव्यं महितले विशेषादस्माकं तृणसलिलजीव्या हि पशवः इति श्रुत्वा वाचं पितुरै भवानाः सरसं दिगे तन्नो सत्यं मघवजनिता वृष्टिरति यत् अदृष्टं जीवानां सृजति खलु वृष्टिं समुचितां महारण्ये वृक्षाः किमिव बलिमिन्द्राय ददते इदं तावत् सत्यं यदिह पशवो न कुलधनं तदा जीव्यायासौ बलिरचलभर्त्रे समुचितः सुरेभ्योऽप्युत्कृष्टाः ननु धरणि देवा क्षितितले ततस्ते प्याराद्याः इति जगति तत्त्वं निजजयान्.
Baiju, that third line, Nanu Dharani Devaha, that has a visarga there. Okay. Visarga, you have to say that, yeah.
Thank you. भवद्वाजं श्रुत्वा बहुमतियुतास्तेऽपि पशुपाः द्विजेन्द्रानर्चन्दो बलिमददुरुच्चैः क्षितिभृते व्यदुप्रादक्षिण्यं सुपृशमनमन्नादरयुताः त्वमादशैलात्मा बलिमखिलमाबीरपुरतः
अवोचश्चैवं तान् किमिव वितथं मे निगदितं गिरीन्द्रो नन्वेषः स्वबलिमुपभृङ्गेस्ते स्ववपुषा अयं गोत्रो द्विषि च किपुते कुपिते रक्षितुमलं समस्ता नित्युक्ताः जहृशुर किल गोकुल जुषः परिप्रीता याताः खलु भवदुपेता व्रजजुषो वज्रं यावतावत् निजमख विभृङ्गं निशमयन् भवन्तं जानन् व्यप्तिर दीखरजसा क्रान्तहृदयो न सेहे देवेन्द्रः त्वदुपरचितात् मोन्नतिरपि.
And Priyam, the second line, first word is vra sound, brajam. Okay, brajam. The next word is yavat tavan nija. The ittu on it becomes, if we have tavat, right, that becomes the in sound there. So it becomes tavan nija.
Tavan nija. Okay.
Tavan nija. Okay, so just double N. Okay.
Okay. मनुष्यत्वं यातो मधुविदपि देवेश्व विनयं विदत्ते अंगे அதே மாதிரி வருமா பின்ன இந்த
anga வந்து we are pausing that place, right? So that's why that in becomes sanna there. Vidatte chet, we're putting a comma there. So that's why it becomes the it sound.
Okay. Vidatte चेष्ट सदसां कोऽपि महिमा.
அந்த word திரும்பி ஒரு second. Bidatte chet, double na, right? So the first na will take a it sound because you're pausing. Bidatte chet nashtastrudasha.
Okay. Vidatte chet nashtashri. Okay. तदश्च द्वं शिष्ये पशुपहत कस्य श्रियमिति प्रवृत्तस्त्वां जेतुं स किल मघवा दुर्मदनिधिः. त्वदावासं हन्तुं दानं भुवि प्रहिन्वन् बिभ्रणः कुलिसा मयमन् ब्रे
So, அது kulisham, you can break it that ma
कुलिशम्
there. Kulisham ayam abrebha gamanah.
Okay. Kulisham yam abreva. Okay. Kulisham yam abreva.
Gamanah.
Sorry, I'm just noting it. Abreva gamanam.
Gamanah.
Gamanah prataste nyaihi antar dahana maru Dhyandyar vihasito bhavan mayanaiv shribhuvanapate mohayatikam surendraha krundaschet dvijakarunaya shailakrupayapi anatha drinko swamakam नियत इति विश्वास्य पशुपान् अहो खिन्नायाथो गिरिबिदिति संचिन्त्य निवसन् मरुद् गोहादीश प्रनुद मुरवैरीन मम गतान्.
Reading up in the last fourth line, first word, Maru Gehadisha. Okay. And then third line, right? Aho Kinnayato.
Kinnayat. Okay.
And then the first line on the Kruddhaschet. Double the sound comes. Kruddhaschet.
Okay.
Okay. All right, so we'll continue. We'll start with 63. Let me see who I had. Lakshmi, you can be a student, and Sita Varna Sigaru, you can be a student. Okay, so Dashakam 63. Govardhanodharana Varnana. Govardhana Uddharana Varnana, lifting the Govardhana mountain. Dadrishire किल तत्क्षणमक्षतस्तनितजृम्भितकम्पितदिक्तटाः सुषमया भवदङ्गतुलां गताः व्रजपदो परिवारिधरास्त्वया. So we saw in the last class about, the Gopas are performing that sacrifice to Indra, right, which they usually do annually. And then Krishna went and asked that question, why are you doing it? And then Nandagopa explains it. Then Krishna says, you don't have to do. All the demigods who own all the respective things, it is their responsibility and their duty to do that. And as far as humans, you are concerned, you go worship the main god. You thank all the brahmanas who are helping you out. And in this case, you thank the cows because they are all selflessly serving you. And in this case, you go thank the Govardhana mountain because it provides everything you need for the cows to survive, for the vegetation to happen. You don't have to go thank any demigod or go worship any demigod for them to do their duties, right? So that's what Krishna says. And so they then do the, the prayers to Govardhana, all of that stuff. So then Indra gets very upset because he says that even if this is Hari himself who's acting as a child, but if he goes and tells everybody you don't have to worship the demigods, that sets a precedent that nobody now going forward is going to do any offerings to Indra or Varuna or Agni or anything. Nothing is going to happen in the future, which then sets a wrong precedent, right? So Indra gets very upset about it. So now, then that's how the last Dashakam ended, where everybody's like dark clouds are beginning to form. And here at this time, it starts raining in Vrindavan right now. So terrible rain happens, the clouds all over, and then it just starts pouring. And like we said several times before, anytime there is rain, anytime there is dark clouds that's coming, the first reference should go to Krishna. It is just like you. The dark clouds which are forming there. But again refers that saying, it is as if your body is represented all over the sky And then, your brilliance is shining in the lightning that is actually showing up in the sky. So anyway, so it begins to rain there. And, it's getting dark in Vrindavan right now. Dadrushire kila tat kshanam akshata, put a plus, stanita jrumbita kampita diktataha. So those two lines are together. Sushamaya bhavadanga tulam gataha. So add a visarga if you don't have it, comma. Vraja padopari varidharas tvaya. Dadrshire kila takshanamakshatastanitajrambhita diktataha. Sushamaya bhavadanga tulam gataha. Vrajapado parivaridharas tvaya.
तत्र शिरे किल तत्क्षणम् अशत अशत अशतस्तनित अक्षत तत्र शिरे किल तत्क्षणम् अक्षतस्तनितजम्बितकम्बितदिक्तटाः सुषमया भवदङ्गतुलां गताः व्रजपदो परिवारितरास्त्वया. Correct? Okay.
Yeah.
Tatra shire kila tatshanam akshadasti tadan akshada tadanita. Adudan tappa
Stanita.
Akshada stanita jrumbita kambida dikdadaha shushamaya bhavadangatulam gataha vrajapado varitarastvaya.
Dadrushire kila takshanamakshatastanitajrumbitakampitadiktataha sushamaya bhavadangatulam gataha vajrapado parivaridharastvaya. Dadrushire kila takshanamakshatastanitajrumbitakampitadiktataha sushamaya bhavadangatulam gataha vajrapado parivaridharastvaya.
Siddhakar, fourth line, first word, Braja.
Braja, yeah, sorry.
Stanza 2. So there's a tune changes for the next few stanzas. Vipulakaraka toyadhara nipateihi dishi dishi pashupana mandale dandyamhane kupita harikritannaha pahi pahi titesham vachanamajita shrinvan mabhibhitetya bhanihi. It really starts pouring terribly. And, to the extent that there's like hailstorm everywhere. There's like, ice falling, all that. And then the clouds are getting more thicker, which just shows that the rain is not going to stop right now. And the entire place starts flooding. It starts filling it water. So which means that the animals which are all there in the cow sheds, they all start running away. And so all these cowherd people, they get very afraid about it. And then they come to Nandagopa's house because he's also the chieftain of the village, right? So they all come over to his house. And then, they remember, what Gargam, they remember all the times that Krishna has helped them. And he had only told them, don't worry, Govardhana will take care, all that. So they all come and say, you all said you're going to take care of us. Now all our stuff is getting washed away. The animals are running away. So you all have to help us right now, right? So at the time, Krishna says, no, don't worry. I had told you earlier that Govardhana is going to protect you. So just have the trust in it that Govardhana will come and protect all of you. Vipula Karaka Mishraihi. Is goes away, Visarga, comma. Toya Dhara Nipataihi. Another Visarga, comma there. Nipataihi. Next line, if you have a ir or a r, that goes away. Dishi Pashupanam Mandale Dandyamane. So every direction it is just pouring and it is hailstorm. Kupita Hari Kritannaha, comma. Pahi Pahiti Tesham, put a plus. Vachanamajita Shrinvan Ma Bhibhitetya Bhanihi. That's one word. So after Kritannaha in the third line, there's a comma, and then the rest of the thing comes together. Vipulakarakam Mishraihi Toya Dhara Nipateihi Dishi Dishi Pashupana Mandale Dandyamhane Kupita Hari Kritannaha पाहि पाहीति तेषां वचनमजित शृण्वन् माभिभीतेत्यभाणीः
विपुलकरकमिश्रैः तोयतारानिपादैः दिशि दिशि पशुपानां मण्डले दण्ड्यमाने कुपितहरिकृतानः पाहि पाहीति तेषां वचनमजितशृण्वन्मा बीबितेत्यपाणिः. அது என்ன டியூன் சரியா வரல, பட் ஐ ட்ரை.
Yeah, right, yeah.
विपुलकरकमिश्रैः तोयतारानिपादैः दिशि दिशि पशुपानां मण्डले दण्ड्यमाने कुपितहरिकृतान्नः पाहि पाहीति तेषां वचनमजितशृण्वन्मा बिबीतेत्यपाणिः.
विपुलकरकमिश्रैः तोयधारानिपातैः दिशि दिशि पशुपानां मण्डले दण्ड्यमाने कुपितहरिकृतान्नः पाहि पाहीति तेषां वचनमजितशृण्वन्माभिभीतेत्यभाणीः विपुलकरकमिश्रैः तोयधारानिपातैः दिशि दिशि पशुपानां मण्डले दण्ड्यमाने कुपितहरिकृतान्नः पाहि पाहीति तेषां वचनमजितशृण्वन् माभिभीतेत्यभाणीः.
कुल इह खलु गोत्रो दैवतं गोत्रशत्रोर्विहतिमिह सरुन्ध्यात् को नु वः संशयोऽस्मिन् इति सहसितवादी देवगोवर्धनाद्रं त्वरितम् उदमुमूलो मूलतो बालदोर्भ्याम्. So Krishna knows it is Indra who's now very upset about this and then wanting to do this. And like he's going to give a message in the 64th Dasakam. But anyway, Krishna is saying that all the people who have high pride, right? Anytime there is a high pride with even these demigods who get very proud of all their opulences, whenever that happens, they all have to be taught a lesson because you cannot be proud of anything. So I have to break that false prestige that Indra is actually having. And then the way to do that is to protect all of these people against Indra's attack or whatever he's doing right now. So here, Kula Iha. So this clan of mine, I have to protect it. So Krishna tells them, don't worry. It's my responsibility to protect all of you. So just trust me and come with me. And then I will go over the mountain, will protect all of us. Kula Iha Khalu Gotro Daivatam Gotra Shatror. So we put a plus at the end of that line. So Gotra Shatror Bihati Miha Sarundyate. So, and then put a comma. Konu Vaha put a is Konu Vas Samshayosmin. So for the first line is continuous and then Rundyat comma. Iti Sahasita Vadi Deva Govardhanadrim comma. Twaritam, breaking at that ma, Twaritam Uda Mumulo Mulato Baladorbyam. So two things here, right? So one is, whoever is giving confidence, right? If somebody is coming to you with a problem, you have to say with confidence, don't worry. And you should also not panic. So that's what the two specific words you used here is. One is Krishna is saying, Na samshayosmin. He said you should not have even an ounce of doubt that something is going to happen to you. So be confident nothing is going to happen to you. Second, Sahasita, you are saying it in a very smiling way. So the people who are listening to it feel that, I have some hope, right? This person feels confident that he is going to protect me and then I have to trust him. Otherwise, they were all panicking at that time. So with that, you take all of them towards the Govardhana mountain. Kula iha khalu gotro daivatam gotra shatror bihati miha sarundyat konu vas samshayosmin iti sahasitavadi deva govardhanadram twaritam udamumulo mulato baladorbyam.
Rajesh, just one question. First line la Gotra Shatror Irra Muriyarda anga
the next line you should have an ir. If it's not in the first line, next line you should have an ir. If it's not there, just add a ir there.
And Visarga allanga.
Visarga irundunaka change it to an ir because we're just saying it together. Okay. Either you should have a visarga or you should have an ir in the next line.
Okay.
कुलैः खलु गोत्रो दैवतं गोत्रशत्रो विहति मिह सन्ध्यात् को नो वः संशयोऽस्मिन् इति सहसितवाती देवगोवर्धनात्रिं त्वरितम् उदमुमूलो मूलतो बालदोर्भ्याम् कुलैः खलु गोत्रो दैवतं गोत्रशत्रोर्विहितमिहि सरुन्द्यात् को न वः संशयोऽस्मिन् इति सहसितवादी देवगोवर्धनात्रिं त्वरितमुदमुमूलो मूलतो बालतोऽप्याम्.
In the second line, first word, bihatim iha.
Oh, vihatim ivava.
Bihatim iha.
Oh, miha. Okay.
कुलैः खलु गोत्रो दैवतं गोत्रशत्रोर्विहतिमिह सरुन्ध्यात् को नु वः संशयोऽस्मिन् इति सहसितवादी देवगोवर्धनात्रिं त्वरितमुदमुमूलो मूलतो बालधोर्भ्याम् कुलैः खलु गोत्रो दैवतं गोत्रशत्रोर्विहतिमिह सरुन्ध्यात् को नु वः संशयोऽस्मिन् इति सहसितवादी देवगोवर्धनाद्रिं त्वरितमुदमुमूलो मूलतो बालदोर्भ्याम्.
तदनु गिरिवरस्य प्रोद्धृतस्यास्य तावत् सिकतिलमृदुदेशे दूरतो वारितापे परिकरपरिमिश्रान् धेनुगोपानधस्तात् उपनिधतत् अधत्ता हस्तपद्मेन शैलम्. Krishna then brings everybody there to the Govardhana mountain. And then with your hasta padmena, with your small arms, which are like the lotus, like that of a lotus petal, because it's a small, like 8-year-old boy, you then lift the Govardhana mountain. Now, like I said, if you may not remember, when we were talking Dasakam 5, when we were talking about the formation of the cosmos, I always refer this example saying that when the entire world is getting formed, right? And in the 99th Dashakam, there is a stanza from Rig Veda which says that all the 14 worlds only constitute 1/4 of the energy of Bhagavan. The remaining 3/4 of the energy of Bhagavan is not utilized in any material creation. So when all of that is only 1/4 of his energy and the entire universe is coming from him, you should not be surprised that he's able to lift the Govardhana mountain because he's a pure incarnation of Bhagavan, right? So that's why those Dashakams are critical, is to understand that the energy which is forming the entire world is coming from one source. So if that person takes the form of a human or any shape for that matter, he could have just taken the form of an ant and still lifted the Govardhana mountain. We shouldn't be surprised, right? Because it's at the end of the day, it's not the form or the shape here. Anyway, so he lifts the Govardhana mountain with one hand, and there's more description of that. And then he tells all these cowherds and everybody saying, do not worry, this mountain is not going to fall from my hand, because first of all, people are going to be surprised how you're lifting the mountain. Second is they're worried the mountain is going to come falling down. So he says, don't worry. You bring all your belongings, you bring all the cows, your calves, and everything you have, and all of you come along with the family. You just stay under this, right? And he says, trust me, Govardhana mountain is going to protect you. It's not me doing it. So you can come confidently, and all of you come and take shelter of the mountain. Tadanu girivarasya prodhritasya tavat, sikatila mridu deshe दूरतो वारितापे परिकर parimishran dhenu gopan, breaking at that na there, dhenu gopan adhastat. So put a it at the end of that line, adhastat, comma. The next word, little hard. First, the du becomes a u. So upanidhadhat. So I don't know how many of you are following Sanskrit here. I'll tell in that context. There is the first dha, there is a second dha. Again, there is the first dha, and then there is a second dha. Okay. In Sanskrit, if you're following Tamil, it will say 3-4-3-4 probably, right? So there is like 4 dhas coming there. Third in the sequence, which is there, we're going to break it into a it and a a. Okay. In the sequence of the 4 dhas, the third one, you break it into a it and a a. So it becomes Upanidadat adhatta. Okay. Upanidadat adhatta hasta padmena shailam. Tadanu girivarasya prodhritasya tavat sikatilam mridudeshe durato varitape parikara parimishran dhenu gopanadhastat upanidhadat adhatta hasta padmena shailam.
ராஜேஷ்,
Mm.
அந்த உபநிதத் தத் அதத்தா இருக்கணும், அதோட மீனிங் என்ன சொல்லுங்களேன்?
Yeah. So
ஜஸ்ட் அந்த சான்ஸ்கிரிட்.
yeah. So the Upanidhatat is to lift. Okay. Is keeping it. It's hold it steady. Adatta is lifting it. So you lift it with your hasta padmena, with your lotus-like hands, and then you hold it. So that Upanidhatat adhatta is like it has to be merged with the rest of the words coming later, but the individual words are lifting it and holding it. Okay.
ராஜேஷ்
Yeah.
ராஜேஷ் அந்த இங்க சான்ஸ்கிரிட்ல தேனு கோபான தஸ்தாதுன்ட்டு தான் போட்டிருக்கு. ஸோ
Ah.
ததத் அஸ்தாத் அது எங்க பிரிக்கணும்?
See, Denu, Gopan, and the nerve we are just breaking it, so it's easy to say.
ஓ,
So
ஓகே
Denu Gopan Adhastat.
ஓகே
And the
Okay.
nerve, we just broke it. You can say
Okay.
it together also, but it's easy
Okay.
if you break it at that now.
ஓகே. ஸோ நோ காமா தேர், ஜஸ்ட்
Yeah, on the end of the line, comma, Adhastat.
ஓகே.
तदनु गिरिवरस्य प्रोतस्त्यास्य तावत् सकलतिं
Sikatila.
सिकतिल मृदुदेशे दूरतो वारितापे परिकर परमिश्रान् तेनुगोपान् अधस्तात् उपनिददत् अदत्ता हस्तपद्मेन शैलम् तदनु गिरिवरस्य प्रोद्धृतस्यास्य तावत् सिकतिलं मृदुदेशे दूरतो वारितापे परिकर परिमिश्रान् तेनुगोपान् अधस्तात् उपनिददत् अदत्त हस्तपद्मेन शैलम्
तदनु गिरिवरस्य प्रोद्धृतस्यास्य तावत् सिकतिलमृदुदेशे दूरतो वारितापे परिकरपरिमिश्रान् धेनुगोपान् अधस्तात् उपनिदधत् अदत्ता हस्तपद्मेन शैलम् तदनु गिरिवरस्य प्रोद्धृतस्यास्य तावत् सिकतिलमृदुदेशे दूरतो वारितापे परिकरपरिमिश्रान् धेनुगोपान् अधस्तात् उपनिदधत् अदत्ता हस्तपद्मेन शैलम्.
That's fine. Bhavati vidruta shaile balikabhirvayasyehi api vihita vilasam kelilapadilole savida milita dhenu rekahastena kandhu yati sati pashupalastoshamaishanta sarve. So, this in Krishna Avataram, right? Krishna doesn't worry about showing how hard things are or anything. So, when you are kind of, when you are like very strong, I always see these reels of this person who looks very slim, he's all covered, but then he goes to the gym where these people are lifting like 200 pounds, right? And then he will just go as if he's a cleaner, and then he'll just lift it with his one hand and do all that stuff, right? So, Krishna, like he doesn't worry about people thinking, how can you do all this? He is saying, I'm not going to struggle, lift it with two hands and all of that stuff. I'm going to just lift it with one hand, right? And I'm going to lift this gourd and I'm going to not even with one hand, actually, it's with the finger, which is going to come later. But right now, they're still using the word hand. So I'm going to lift it with one hand, and the other hand is still free for me, right? So the other hand, I'm going to be touching all the calves and everything which are actually coming there and playing with the cows on the other hand and continue having conversation with Balikabir Vayasyehi, with the boys and girls who are with my age. I'm just going to be having a conversation with them. I'm not going to be worried about lifting. So in one hand, I'm going to be lifting the mountain. The other hand, I'm going to be caressing all these cows and I'm going to be having conversation with the boys and girls. I'm not even going to show any, hardness in lifting this thing, right? So when Krishna is doing this, he's saying, I'm just so busy having this conversation. Krishna doesn't feel hungry or thirsty. He's just surviving through this. The people who are looking at it, they're just looking at the beauty of how Krishna is lifting this. And they also don't feel hunger or thirst, because they're just saying, we just love the way that Krishna is standing here and lifting this. So with that, each one is feeding off of each other, and then they continue to remain there for a long amount of time. We'll see. So they continue to remain there without eating anything, without drinking anything, and then having conversations and just relaxing under the mountain right now. Bhavati vidhrita shaile balikabhir vayasyehi, put a visarga comma, vayasyehi. Next line, the rapi becomes a api. Api vihita vilasam keli lapadi lole savidha milita dhenureka hastena kandu, long u, and then put plus yati sati, and then put a comma. So the third line is continuous, and then comma after yati sati. Pashupalas tosham aishanta sarve. In break at that ma tosham aishanta if you want to. Bhavati with, yeah, go ahead.
On the third line, once more cholrala. Savida milita.
Savidha militha dhenureka hastena kandu. If you want to really break it to understand the meaning, it's dhenuhu eka hastena. So with one of your hand, you are touching the dhenu, which is the cow.
That is what is written in my book.
Oh, okay. The dhenuhu eka potanda, the join it becomes a ra sound. So dhenur eka.
Okay.
So remove the visarga, put the ra there. Dhenu reka. Okay. But the right word is dhenuhu eka is the sandhi split. Bhavati vidruta shaile balikabhirvayasyehi api vihita vilasam kelila padilone savidha milita dhenu reka hastena kandu yati sati pashupalastoshamaishanta sarve.
भवति विधृतशैले बालिकापिर्वयस्यैः अभिविहितविलासं केलिलापातिलोले सवितमिलिततेनो रेकहस्तेन कण्डु यदि सति पशुपालास्तोषम् ऐषन्त सर्वे भवति विधृतशैले बालिकापिर्वयस्यैः अभिविहितविलासं केलिलापातिलोले सवितमिलिततेनो रेकहस्तेनु कण्डु यदि सति पशुपालास्तोषम् ऐषन्त सर्वे.
And the third line, middle, if you're landing it there, and the reka is, you can just break it into ir and eka. So savida milita dhenur ir eka hastena kandu.
Okay.
Bhavati vidrutashaile balikabhirvayasyehi api vihita vilasam kelilapadilole savida milita dhenureka kandu yati sati pasupalastoshamaishanta sarve. Bhavati vidrutashaile balikabhirvayasyehi api vihita vilasam kelilapadilole savida milita dhenureka hastena kandu yati sati pashupalasthosha maishanta sarve.
Rajesh, and the Pashupala kapuram visarga irka.
Irundudunaka is sound it will take. Pashupalas.
Okay, thank you.
Stanza 6. From here, the tune changes back to the beginning of this Dasakam. Atimahan giriresha tuvamake karasaro ruhitam dharate chiram kimidam adbhutam adribalan viti twadavaloki bhirakati gopakaihi. Here it talks about that Krishna, you're not lifting it hard like we said about. You're just lifting it with your left hand and with your pinky finger, not even with the full palm exposed. right? So it is just standing like that. And if you go to Vrindavan, in that I forget the name of the temple there. Anyway, so there they have like a beautiful replica of this, right? Where you have the Kaliyam Ardhanam replica, and then you have this where you see Krishna standing there on top of a small hill, and then he'll be holding his left hand with a pinky, and then there'll be a big mountain, everybody else standing underneath it. Anyway, so he's standing just with that. So all these people who are looking and saying, how is it even possible that a small boy can lift this? So these people are pretty convinced that Krishna is not lifting it, because they're saying he's only 8 years old. His hands are so tender, and then he's holding it in his left hand, that too on his one of his finger. It's impossible. I think they say it is. I think what is happening is this Govardhana mountain, we did all these prayers. So the mountain is elevating itself, right? And this boy is just going, and sometimes we pose as if we're pushing the Leaning Tower of Pisa, right? So similarly, it says he's just going and just putting his finger underneath that mountain. The mountain has elevated itself, right? Because otherwise, Kimidam Adbhutam, it's such a wonderful surprise that the mountain is lifting itself. Otherwise, how is it possible for a small boy to come and do it? So they're kind of thinking about it, but they're all kind of standing under the mountain right now. Atimahan Giriresha tu Vamake, Kara Saroruhi tam Dharate Chiram. Kim idam so you can see I'm going to be breaking at that mass, so it'll be easy. Kim idam adbhutam adri balan viti. So those who are following Sanskrit, if you have balam, that la and im, and then inviti will be there next to it. So that balam will take an in sound, so it becomes two n's coming next to each other. So balan viti, okay, BALAN NBITHI, balan viti, comma Twadavalokhibhir, breaking at the ra, Twadavalokhibhir akati gopakaihi. Atimahan giriresha tu vamake karasaro ruhitam dharate chiram kimidam adbhutam adribalan viti Twadavalokhibhirakati gopakaihi.
अधिमहान् गिरिरेश तु वामके करसरोरुहितं तरते चिरं किमितमद्भुतमद्रिबलन्विति त्वदवलोकिभिरागतिगोपकैः अधिमहान् गिरिरेश तु वामके करसरोरुहितं तरते चिरं किमितमद्भुतमद्रिबलन्विति त्वदवलोकिभिर् ஆகதி கோபகைஹி.
ராஜேஷ்,
Yeah.
அந்த கிமிதம் அத்புதம் அங்கேயும் திரும்ப பிரேக் இருக்கா? இங்க வந்து மத்ரி போட்டிருக்கு.
ஆமா, அந்த அத்புதம், அந்த ம வந்து make it as im there. Kim idam adbhutam adri balan viti. Then it is easy to, yeah.
Okay.
अतिमहान् गिरिरेश तु वामके करसरोरुहितं धरते चिरं किमितमद्भुतमद्रिबलं विति त्वदवलोकिभिराकधिकोपकैः अतिमहान् गिरिरेश तु वामके करसरोरुहितं धरते चिरं किमितमद्भुतमद्रिबलं विति त्वदवलोकिभिराकधिकोपकैः.
I'll say 7 and 8 meaning together. Ahaha darshyama mushya. So the dhar, ir will come after the dha. Darshyama mushya vatur girim, comma Vyathita bahura sava varopayet. So cannot break that word, so you have to say that word together. Bahura sava varopayet iti haris twayi baddha bigarhano, comma divasa saptakam. So breaking at that ma, saptakam ugrama varshayat. So that becomes a mu, becomes a im and u there. Saptakam ugrama varshayat. Ahaha dharshyama mushya vator girim vyatita bahura sava varopayet iti haris twayi baddha bigarhano divasa saptakam ugrama varshayat.
अहदाष्ट्ययं मुष्ट्यवटोर्गिरिं व्यदति बाहुरसावरो भयेत् इति हरिस्त्वयि बद्धविग्रहणो दिवससप्तकम् उग्रमवर्षयत्
Third
अहद
line, Baddha Vigarhano.
ஓ விக்கிரகணோன்னு சொல்லிட்டேன். சரி, விகர்ஹணோ. அஹதாஷ்டயமுஷ்ட்ய வட்டோர்கிரிம் व्यदित बाहुरसावरो भयेत् इति हरिस्त्वयि बद्धविगर्हणो दिवससप्तकम् उग्रमवर्षयत्.
And the first line, Lakshmi, Darshtiyama Mushya. And the it, I don't know which language you're following, but if you're following
Tamil.
Sanskrit, Tamil, okay. It sounded Darshtiyama Mushya.
Okay, दाष्ट्यमं मुष्ट्य. Okay.
Yeah, Mushya. Yeah, Mushya.
Mushya.
But yeah.
अहहदाष्ट्यममुष्यवटोर्गिरिं व्यदितबाहुरसावरोपयेत् इति हरस्त्वयि बद्धविगर्हणो दिवससप्तकमुग्रमवर्षयत् अहहदाष्ट्यममुष्यवटोर्गिरिं व्यदितबाहुरसावरोपयेत् इति हरस्त्वयि बद्धविगर्हणो दिवससप्तकमुग्रमवर्षयत्.
Third line, Iti Haristvai.
इति हरिस्त्वयि.
Yeah. Stanza 8. Achalate Tvai Deva Padat Padam Galita Sarva Jale Chaghanutkare Apahrite Marutam Patihi Twadabhishankita Dhi Samupadravate. So when Krishna is standing there with Govardhana holding in his one hand, in his left hand with his pinky, talking to all these boys and girls, caressing these cows, everybody is relishing on the looks of that. Indra is getting very frustrated, saying, how can this boy, let's see how long he can actually hold it, right? And so the rain continues for Divasa Saptakam, so 7 days of unrelenting rain, just continuous downpour of rain. And Indra is saying, let's see how long this can happen, right? So the clouds are just continuing to get formed and just continuing to rain. But then, achalati, that means you did not move your foot even once. So you just stood in that place for 7 days without even moving your foot, without changing your hand or without adjusting your hand, nothing. You just stood there in that exact position for 7 days and 7 nights, or 6 nights, 7 days, whatever, 7 days. And it just remained there to the point that finally the clouds were exhausted of all the water it was actually carrying. And finally the wind comes, blows all the clouds away, and the rain then starts going down. So with that, so the test happened, and Indra just started pouring for 7 days. 7 days, they all just remained there, and nothing happened to anybody, and you just stood there for 7 days.
Rajesh, on
Yeah.
the 7 days, is there any reason? Is there like on the 7 number behind? It's just a random.
I don't know. I don't know if there is a reason. I don't
Reason.
know if there is any reason.
Gotcha.
Like there's nothing mentioned even in Bhagavatam either. It just says 7 days, but I don't know if there is any context to that.
Okay.
Achalati Tvai Deva Padat Padam, Galita Sarva Jale Cha Ghanotkare Apahrite Marutam Patihi. So put a visarga, Patihi, Next line is will go away. Twadhabhishankita dhihi, put a is dhis samupadravat. Achalate Tvai Deva Padat Padam Galita Sarva Jale Cha Ghanotkare Apahrite Marutam Patihi Twadabhishankita Dhi Samupadravate.
अचलदित्वैतेव पदात्पदं कलितसर्वजले जगनोत्करे अपहृते मरुदां पतिः त्वदभिशङ्कितती समुपात्रवत् अचलदित्वैतेव त्वयि तेव पदात्पतं कलित सर्वजले जगनोत्करे अबहृदे मरुदा मरुदां पतिः त्वदभिशङ्कितदी समुपात्रवत्
अचलति त्वयि देवपदात्पदं गलितसर्वजले च घनोत्करे अपहृते मरुतां पतिः त्वदभिशङ्कितधीसमुत्पाद्रवत् अचलति त्वयि देवपदात्पदं गलितसर्वजले च घनोत्करे अपहृते मरुतां पतिः त्वदभिशङ्कितधीसमुत्पाद्रवत्.
That's a nice. Shamamupeयुषि वर्षभरे तथा पशुपधेनुकुले च विनिर्गते भुवि विभो समुपाहित भूधरः प्रमुदितैः पशुपैः परिरेभिषे. Finally, the rain subsides, the wind comes, blows all the clouds away, the sun comes out, so everything now is completely clear. So at that time, Krishna then tells all these people that rain has completely stopped. So you can now all confidently go back to your respective houses, take all the things, the cows, everything, and all go back. So with that, everybody is finally happy that after 7 days, everything has come back to normalcy, and then they all finally go back home. Shamam upeyushi वर्षभरे तदा पशुपधेनुकुले च विनिर्गते भुवि विभो समुपाहित भूधरः प्रमुदितैः, put a F to join, प्रमुदितैः पशुपैः, another F to join, पशुपैः परिरेभिषे. शममुपेयुषि वर्षभरे तथा पशुपधेनुकुले च विनिर्गते भुवि विभो समुपाहित भूधरः प्रमुदितैः पशुपैः परिरेभिषे.
शममुपेयुषि वर्षपरे तथा पशुपतेनुकुले च विनिर्गते भुवि विभो समुपाहितभूधरः प्रमुदितैः पशुपैः परिरेभिषे. शममुपेयुषि वर्षपरे तथा पशुपतेनुकुले च विनिर्गते भुवि विभो समुपाहितभूधरः प्रमुदितैः पशुपैः परिरेभिषे.
शममुपेयुषि वर्षभरे तदा पशुपधेनुकुले च विनिर्गते भुवि विभो समुपाहितभूधरः प्रमुदितैः पशुपैः परिरेभिषे. शममुपेयुषि वर्षभरे तदा पशुपधेनुकुले च विनिर्गते भुवि विभो समुपाहितभूधरः प्रमुदितैः पशुपैः परिरेभिषे.
Okay, we just switch. We're halfway time. Sita Lakshmi, you can be student, and Vidya Raman, you can be student. धरणिमेव पुरा धृतवानसि क्षितिधरोद्धरणे तव कश्रमः इति नुतस्त्रिदशैः कमलापते गुरुपुरालय पालय मां गदात्. So all the other demigods are witnessing this. They say, what is the surprise in this? Because in your previous incarnation, you lifted the whole earth, right? When it put it back in its axis, put it in its location, the Varaha Avataram. So when you can lift the whole earth as Varaha, then coming and lifting a small mountain in the earth is not a big deal, Krishna. So there was nothing. It was just very simple avataram, a simple act of yours to just lift the Govardhana mountain. It was not that big a thing because you are the one who placed the whole earth. So anyway, with that, they all praise you. Guru Arpa, please eradicate my ailments also. Dharanimeva pura dhritavaanasi, kshitidharod dharane. So there's a double the coming there. Kshitidharod dharane tava kaha, put a ish, kash shramaha iti nutas tridashaihi, put a ich to join, tridashaih kamalapate, गुरुपुरालय पालय मां गदात् धरणिमेव पुरा धृतवानसि क्षितिधरोद्धरणे तव कश्रमः इति नुतस्त्रिदशैः कमलापते गुरुपुरालय पालय मां गदात्
धरणिमेव पुरा धृतवानसि क्षितिधरोद्धरणे तव कश्रमः इति नुतस्त्रिदशैः कमलापते गुरुपुरालय पालय मां गतात् धरणिमेव पुरा धृतवानसि क्षितिधरोद्धरणे तव कश्रमः इति नुतस्त्रिदशैः कमलापते गुरुपुरालय पालय मां गतात्
धरणिमेव पुरा धृतवानसि क्षितिधरोद्धरणे तव कः श्रमः इति नुतश्रुत सैकमलापते गुरुपुरालय पालय मां गतात् धरणिमेव पुरा धृतवानसि क्षितिधरोद्धरणे तव कः श्रमः इति नुतश्रुत सैकमलापते गुरुपुरालय पालय मां गतात्.
The second line end la kashramaha anga Israel
Kashramaha.
okay Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. Okay, Dashakam 64 Govinda Pattabhisheka Varnanam, so crowning as name Govinda. That's one. Alokya Shailodharanadi-rupam Prabhavamuchaistav Gopalokaha Vishveshwaram Tvam Abhimatya Vishve Nandam Bhavajatakamanva Prichan. So the first, when he lifted the Govardhana mountain, people thought, it is the mountain lifting itself. It's impossible for a boy to do it. But then they saw that this boy held that mountain for 7 days and did not move from that place. So they were all these Braja people, they were all in a state of shock, saying, how can this boy perform such extraordinary things, right? And if it's really a superpower that this boy actually has, why would he come and live with people like us who are very ordinary cowherds, right? Because it doesn't make sense. Either he is like a super powerful person or a great, person, in which case I wouldn't understand why he's coming and staying with people like us. It doesn't make sense. Or there's something else happening because of which everything he touches, right? Because even when he was a small baby, Putana came, he survived it. Then Trinavarta, the wind took him away. The Shakatasura, the cart came. So in the Kaliya Mardanam, he danced. Every time something is happening, this boy somehow seems to always escape from it, right? And seems to always help us out. So it says there's something. So they go to Nanda Gopa and say that you have to tell us. There's something you're hiding from us, right? As to how this is all happening. And you have to tell me the details of this boy's birth, how it happened, what this Jadagam is, what the details of his future is, horoscope, whatever you know about it. So, Alokya Shailodharanadi Rupam, Prabhavam Uchchais, breaking at that ma, Prabhavam Uchchais Tava Gopa Lokaha, Vishveshwaram Tvam, breaking at that ma, Tvam Abhimatya Vishve, Nandam Bhavaj Jatakam, breaking at that ma, Jatakam Anva Prichan. Alokya Shailodharanadi Rupam Prabhavamuchchaistava Gopalokaha Vishveshwaram Tvam Abhimatya Vishve Nandam Bhavajjatakam Anva Prichan.
आलोक्य शैलोद्धरणादिरूपं प्रभावमुच्चैस्तव गोपलोकाः विश्वेश्वरम् अभिमत्य विश्वे नन्दं भवज्जातकमन्वपृच्छन्.
Sita, on the second line, Tvam Abhimatya, you missed that word.
Oh, Tvam Abhimatya, okay. आलोक्य शैलोद्धरणादिरूपं प्रभावमुच्चैस्तव गोपलोकाः विश्वेश्वरं त्वाम् अभिमत्य विश्वे नन्दं भवज्जातकमन्वपृच्छन्.
आलोक्य शैलोद्धरणादिरूपं प्रभावम् उच्चैस्तव गोपलोकाः विश्वेश्वरं त्वाम् अभिमद्य विश्वे नन्दं भवजातकम् अन्वपृच्छन्
Anvapritchan. Yeah.
जातकम् अन्वपृच्छन् आलोक्य शैलोदरनादिरूपं प्रभावम् उच्चैस्तव गोपलोकाः विश्वेश्वरं त्वाम् अभिमद्य विश्वे नन्दं भवजातकम् अन्वपृच्छन्
Answer to Gargodito Nirgadito Nijaya Vargaya Tatena Tava Prabhavaha Purvadigastvaya Nuraga Esham Aidishtatavat Bakumana Bharaha. So whatever Nanda Gopa had kept as a secret, if you remember in Dashakam 44 in Namakaranam, when Garga Muni came and then he told Nanda Gopa about the Jatakam, the future of this boy, he said that, your son is not an ordinary son. He's taken several, all of us have taken several births before, but in his previous births also, incarnations also, he has gone and done a lot of these things. So whenever, Indra has needed help or whenever anybody else has needed help, this boy has come incarnated in different forms and done different things, and he's going to be helping all of you Vraja people all through. Anytime you have a problem, he's going to be there. So all the things that Garga Muni had told Nanda Gopa is finally disclosing to these people, saying that yes, he's a special person, right? He's a blessed person whose purpose in this world is to help others. Right now, of course, even neither did Garga Muni say that he's an incarnation of Narayana. Garga Muni didn't say that. He says he's almost like incarnation of Narayana. He left it there intentionally. So even Nandagopa doesn't know. None of them know that it's a full incarnation, but they think it's a special. He's a special person who's there, who has got these special powers. So anytime we have problems, this person is out there to help us, and this person is born amongst us to help all of us out. Right? That's what Garga Muni said, which is what Nandagopa says. So now already all these people loved Krishna anyways, irrespective of whether Krishna helped them or not. So now that they know Krishna is there to help them out, their love for Krishna goes up even more, and they fall, more in love with him and attachment to him. Gargodito Nirgadito Nijaya, then put the plus, Vargaya Tatena Tava Prabhavaha. So the entire line is together. Purvadhikas Tvayanuraga Esham. I'm breaking at that im, but we're going to put a plus there. Esham Aidhishta Tavat Bahumana Bharaha. So both of those lines are together. Just comma at the end of each line. Gargodhito Nirgadito Nijaya Vargaya Tatena Tava Prabhavaha Purvadikastvaya Esham Aidhishtatavat Bahumana Bharaha.
गर्गोदितो निर्गतितो निजाय वर्गाय तातेन तव प्रभावः पूर्वादिकस्त्वय्यनुराग एषामैदिष्टतावद्बहुमानभारः गर्गोदितो निर्गतितो निजाय वर्गाय तातेन तव प्रभावः पूर्वादिकस्त्वय्यनुराग एषामैदिष्टतावद्बहुमानभारः.
First line Prabhavaha Visarga, end of that line.
प्रभावः, okay.
गर्गोदितो निर्गतितो निजाय वर्गाय तातेन तव प्रभावः पूर्वादिकस्त्वयनुरागयेषाम् ऐमदिष्टधावत् बहुमानभारः.
I and the Esham Aidhishta.
And the im, yeah. Gargodito nirgatito nijaya vargaya tatena tava prabhavaha purvadigastvayyanuragayesham aitishtavat bahumanaparah.
That's the Tato Vamhanodita Tattva Bodha Suradhiraja Sahadivyagavya Upetya Tushtavasa Nashta Garvaha Sprishtva padabjam manimaulinate. So Tato Avamano. So Indra, who thought he can go fight this for 7 days, he finally realized when he realized that I'm actually battling with somebody more superior. He then really came to the understanding, and then he felt very ashamed about what he did. That how can he go and think about such a thing and go against Hari's incarnation. So he felt, what do I do right now? So he goes to his boss, he goes to Brahma and says that, I did something very stupid. I tried to battle against this boy, Krishna, who is the full incarnation of Narayana without realizing it. So what do I do? So Brahma says, see, it's okay to make mistakes, right? As long as you realize those mistakes and then you go and ask for, what do you call, waving it off, right? So he then says, okay, go to Krishna and go fall on his feet and then go apologize for the thing that you do. Everything will be fine. So Indra then comes down to Vrindavan and then he meets Krishna in isolation. And then he goes and essentially it says Padabjam Sprishtva Padabjam Mani Maulinate means he's surrendering himself. He's taking his crown and putting it on the feet. It means I'm completely surrendering to you. So he does the namaskaram, and then it's a beautiful stuti that Indra does in Bhagavatam to Krishna, saying, that how it's all the pride that I had in me, that I thought that I'm actually better and I'm powerful enough that I try to destroy people who are very weak, right? The cowherd community is weak. And it's just by doing that I did this. And then because of your blessings, you eliminated the pride, right? So he says, I'm completely surrendering down to you. I come to you for shelter. And, so please forgive me. So Krishna says that, anybody who is very close to me, I'm always standing right next to them with punishment in my hand. And what that really means is it's not to punish that person or not to cause harm to that person. It's because when that person is actually getting very proud, then it is my responsibility to beat them down to submission so the pride goes away, not to hurt that person, right? Because to stay close to Bhagavan and to be tightly connected, you cannot have any pride in anything you do, right? Because you don't control the outcome of anything. We can't control the outcome of a single thing in our life, right? So if you think that I'm capable of doing so many other things, it is just pure pride, which Indra thought. So you have your duty, you just do it. And that's what he says, is purely to remove your pride, oh Indra, that this happened. But he says, essentially, you're completely forgiven, right? And then going forward, do not have that pride in you. Tatovamano, one word. The avamano comes in the form of a S, so the whole word is together. Tatovamano tattva bodha, comma. Suradhirajaha, put a is, Suradhirajas saha divya gavya upetya tushtavasa nashta garvaha, garvam nashtam, nashta garvaha, comma, sprishtva padabjam mani maulinate. Tato vamanodita tatva bodha suradhiraja sahadivya gavya upetya tushtavasa nashta garvaha sprishtva padabjam mani maulinate.
ततो वमानोदिततत्त्वबोधः सुराधिराजः सह दिव्यगव्या उपेत्य तुष्टावसनष्टगर्वः स्पृष्ट्वा पदाब्जं मणिमौलिना ते ततो वमानोदिततत्त्वबोधः सुराधिराजः सह दिव्यगव्या उपेत्य तुष्टावसनष्टगर्वः स्पृष्टा पदाब्जं मणिमौलिना ते
Sprishtva padabjam.
पृष्ट्वा पदाब्जम् ओके
ततोपमानोदित तत्त्वबोधः सुरादिराजः सह दिव्यगव्या उपेत्य दुष्टाव सनष्टगर्वः स्पृष्ट्वा पदाब्जं मणिमौलिना ते ततोपमानोदित तत्त्वबोधः सुरादिराजः सह दिव्यगव्या उपेत्य दुष्टावसनष्टगर्वः स्पृष्ट्वा पदाब्जं मणिमौलिना ते.
The first word, a second time with the tato vamanodita.
Tato vamanodita. நான் என்ன சொன்னேன்னு தெரியல.
And second, I think second time when you said the you said na there, but first time you got it
Oh,
correct.
tatodi. Okay, sorry. Okay.
Yeah.
Tatodita.
Transport. स्नेहस्नुतैस्त्वां सुरभिः पयोभिः गोविन्दनामाङ्कितमभ्यषिञ्चते ऐरावतोपाहृतदिव्यगङ्गा पातोभिरिन्द्रोऽपि च जातहर्षः. So Indra is called Devendra is because he's the lord of all the devas, right? That's why he's called Devendra. So which means he's the head of all the demigods. So when he's now coming, he's coming and saying that I'm completely surrendering to you. So he says, I am no longer the Indra. See, what is the best form? See, if you come in and say, if you have to surrender to somebody, you can only give what you have. You can't promise something that you don't have, right? So the best you can give is whatever you have. So Indra is saying, my title as Indra, I am surrendering it to you. So from now on, you are the Indra. And I'm just going to act on your behalf, right? So you own the true title of Indra. So with that, Indra completely surrenders to Krishna there. And then Surabhi, who's the Kamadhenu, the cow comes. And then Airavata comes. They all come. And then they do a Pattabhishekam of Krishna. And he's then given the name of Govinda. Now, the Govinda name has got multiple meanings, right? So one meaning which everybody understands is Go is cows, right? So Govinda is the one who is the protector of the cows. That is a simple meaning of the word Govinda. But the true meaning of Govinda also is Go has two other meanings. One is it means all the senses that we have. So Govinda means the one who has control over all the senses. We don't have control over any of our senses, right? We get easily distracted with everything. So the one who has control over the senses is Govinda. The other Go also means Vedas. So one who's the leader of the Vedas. So one who's the head of all the Vedas, that's also Govinda. So within Govinda also means one who protects the cows. In this incarnation, Krishna is like always with the cows, right? He's a cowherd at this point. That's going to be done in 2 years, right? He's going to move away to Mathura and then no more cowherd role, right? So with that, you then do the Pattabhishekam of Krishna as Govinda. And Pattabhishekam means you coronate and then you do Abhishekam, which is what they do. So Surabhi is coming and he's doing Abhishekam with the milk. Airavata, the elephant, is coming and then offering Ganges and Yamuna waters onto Krishna. And with that, in private, they then do the Govinda Pattabhishekam there.
Rajesh, which was the third one you said? First one was protecting the cows. Second one was controlling senses.
Moonad வந்து go also means Vedam. So all the Vedas. So the Govinda also means the one who's the kind of like the ruler of the Vedas or the essence of the Vedas. You could think of it that way. Yeah. Sneha snutais tvam surabhihi, put a F, surabhif, payobihi, put a visarga comma, payobihi. Next on the go, if you have a ir, that goes away. Govinda Namankitam, breaking at that ma, Namankitam abhyashinchat. So it's breaking at that ma. Airavatopahrita divya ganga, put a plus. Patobhir, breaking at that ra. Patobhir indropicha jata harshaha. The second line is continuous. स्नेहस्नुतैस्त्वां सुरभिः पयोभिः गोविन्दनामाङ्कितमभ्यषिञ्चते ऐरावतोपाहृतदिव्यगङ्गा पातोभिरिन्द्रोऽपि च जातहर्षः.
स्नेहस्तनुस्त्वां सुरभिः पयोभिः गोविन्दनामाङ्कितमभ्यषिञ्चत् ऐरावतोपाहृतदिव्यगङ्गा पाथोभिरिन्द्रोऽपि च जातहर्षः.
See then the first word, Sneha Snutais Tvam.
स्नेहस्नुतैस्त्वां, okay.
Yeah.
स्नेहस्नुतैस्त्वां सुरभिः पयोभिः गोविन्दनामाङ्कितमभ्यषिञ्चत् ऐरावतोपाहृतदिव्यगङ्गा पाथोभिरिन्द्रोऽपि च जातहर्षः. அங்க காமாவே கிடையாது இல்லையா செகண்ட் லைன்ல?
Second line continuous. Airavatopahrita, that is continuous.
स्नुतै स्वां सुरभिः पयोभिर्गोविन्दनामाङ्कितम् अभ्यषिञ्चत् ऐरावतोभाहृतदिव्यगङ्गापदोभिरिन्द्रोऽपि सजातहर्षः.
Within the second line, Patobi, Asan, Patobhirindro.
Patobhirindro.
And then the first line, Payobir, that you have there, that ir goes away, it becomes a Payobihi and comma there.
स्नेहस्नुतैस्त्वां सुरभिर्भयोभिः गोविन्दनामाङ्कितम् अभ्यषिञ्चत् ऐरावतोभाहृतदिव्यगङ्गापादोभिरिन्द्रोऽपि स जातहर्षः.
And first one, Payobihi.
பயோபிஹி.
Yeah.
அதை ஏன் அப்படி சொன்னது? பயோபிஹி. Yeah.
Stanza 5. Jagatraheshe tvayi gokuleshe tathabhishikte sati gopavataha nakepi vaikunthapatebhyalabhyam shriyam prapede bhavatah prabhavat. So then that gets over. Indra then does that. Indra surrenders. Indra then goes. So after the Pattabhishekam is done, after Indra leaves, then it says Gokulam. They refer the word Gokulam. It's like England, New England, right? They just loosely refer. They're in Vaikuntham, in Vrindavan, but they're referring to as Gokulam as well. So this Vrindavan gets more prosperous. It's because Krishna is there. So it says, so being in Vrindavan at the time is like being in Vaikuntham. There's no difference because they all had prosperity. They were always happy. That bliss was already there because they were always surrounding Krishna at the time, right? So it just says everything was going well there. Jagatrayeshe tvayi gokuleshe, tathabhishikte sati gopavataha nakepi vaikuntha patebhyalabhyam, shriyam prapede bhavatah, put a F, bhavatah prabhavat. Jagatraheshe tvayi gokuleshe tathabhishikte sati gopavataha nakepi vaikunthapatebhyalabhyam shriyam prapede bhavatah prabhavat.
जगत्त्रयेशे त्वयि गोकुलेशे तथाभिषिक्ते सति गोपवाटः नाकेऽपि वैकुण्ठपदेभ्य लभ्यां श्रियं प्रपेदे भवतः प्रभावात् जगत्त्रयेशे त्वयि गोकुलेशे तथाभिषिक्ते सति गोपवाटः नाकेऽपि वैकुण्ठपदेभ्य लभ्यां श्रियं प्रपेदे भवतः प्रभावात्
जगत्त्रयेशे त्वयि गोकुलेशे तदाभिषिक्ते सति गोपवाटः नाकेऽपि वैकुण्ठपदे व्यलभ्यां श्रियं प्रभेदे भवतः प्रभावात् जगत्त्रयेशे त्वयि गोकुलेशे तदाभिषिक्ते सति गोपवाटः नाकेऽपि वैकुण्ठपदेभ्य लभ्यां श्रियं प्रभेदे भवतः प्रभावात्.
Answer 6. कदाचिदन्तर्यमुनं प्रभाते स्नायन् पिता वारुणपूरुषेण नीतस्तमानेतुमगाः पुरीं त्वं तां वारुणीं कारणमर्त्यरूपः. That thing is completely done. So that was the Govardhana Uddharana Varnanam Govinda Pattabhishekam. So all of that is done. So just another completely new story. So once during Ekadashi, during the fasting, Nanda Gopa, who has finished his fasting, the next day morning, Dwadashi, so he was going to take bath in Yamuna. So the Dwadashi Tithi was coming very early in the morning. It was dark outside, so he had gone to take bath in Yamuna. So at that time, he drowns. It said that the people of the Varuna Loka took him away. Essentially, what happens is drowning. So when he drowns in that Yamuna, the first thing he calls out to Rama and Krishna. He yells out their names, right? So that is why they used to keep this name as Rama and Krishna. If you remember the Ajamilo Pakyanam Dasakam 22nd, when Ajamila was about to die, he called out to his one son Narayana, right? So that was what he was able to call. Remember that. So, in this case, Nanda Gopa's case, his sons themselves are Rama and Krishna. So, he then calls out to their names, right? And then he drowns. So now the way it is represented is saying that he's taken to Varuna Loka. I don't know where it is, but he's taken. So, but then Krishna then, because Nandagopa has gone missing now, so Krishna then goes there. Krishna goes to Varuna Loka right now. Kadachit antar yamunam prabhate, comma, snayan pita varuna purushena nitas tamanetu magaha. Is the visarga is there? Put a F to join. Tamanetu magah purim tvam, comma, tam varunim karana martyarupaha. Kadachidantaryamunam prabhate snayan pita varuna purushena nitastamanetu magah purim tvam tam varunim karana martyarupaha.
Rajesh, and the Purim Tvam Kaprana Kama, yeah,
After Tvam, yes.
Okay. Kadachitantaryamunam prabhate snayan pita varunapurushena nitastamane tumagaf purim tvam tam varunim karanamartyarupaha. Kadachidantaryamunam prabhate snayan pita varunapurushena nitastamane tumagaf puritva Nitastumane tumagaf purim tvam tam varunim karanamartyarupaha.
Gadasidantaryamunam prabhate snayan pita varuna purushena nitastamadenu magah purim tvam tam varunim karanamartyarupaha. Gadasitantaryamunam prabhate snayan pita varuna purushena nitastamadenu magha purim tvam tam varunim karanamartyarupaha.
The second line, Vidya, Nitas tam anetu magah purim.
Nitas thama netu makah purim tvam.
Yes, can I? Sentence 7. Sasambhamam tena jaladhipena prapujitastam pratigrihyatatam upagatastatkshanamatmageham pita vadatta charitam nijebhyah. So this Varuna Lokam itself, it is supposed to exist as part of those 14 worlds, right? So it is outside of Bhulokam. It's in the lower 7 worlds. Now, I don't know specifically where Nandagopa went here because it says Varuna Loka. Varuna Loka generally means it's, either he's somewhere under the water here in this case, or he's outside of this earth somewhere, but he's gone to Varuna Loka there. So Krishna ends up going there to Varuna Loka. And later on, Arjuna also ends up going, when he's traveling. Anyway, so there, unlike Indra, right? Indra, who always felt like I'm more powerful, Varuna does not feel that. Varuna says Krishna himself has come here. So he says, how did this happen? And he realized that Krishna's father is here, right, in the Varuna Loka because he drowned there. So he feels very sorry about it, saying it's a mistake. That cannot happen. As the Lord of all the water bodies, it is my responsibility to protect your father. So, the Varuna feels very obligatory about the mistake that actually happened there. And then, he also he offers his namaskarams to Krishna. And with that, Krishna brings Nandagopa back. Nandagopa is brought back. Now, what Nandagopa does is he goes and tells this to everybody. He goes and tells that I was in Varuna Loka, and he describes Varuna Loka in detail about the opulences and the richness of that Loka, which is Vrindavan is like a village. So he goes and says Varuna Loka was magnificent, it had all these other things that was there. And that person, Varuna, bowed down to Krishna, right? So he goes and talks about the greatness of all of that and how great that is, right? Varuna Loka is.
So Rajesh, from what you said about the second part, it looks like he was describing the Loka, right? Varuna Loka, not under the water.
Another, I said very specifically, the Varuna Loka is outside of this earth, okay? But when they're saying, they don't say that explicitly, right? Another, I kind of was trying to draw the line of whether he got submerged and he went to something under the water, or he actually went to Varuna Loka. But description is because Nandagopa talks about the opulences of that Varuna Loka. Because next stanza, there will continuation இருக்கு. So அதனால either it was something under the water, some magnificent palace that he went to, or he went outside somewhere, right? Sasambhramam tena jaladhipena, प्रपूजितस्त्वं प्रतिगृह्य तातं upagatastat kshanam atmageham. Just breaking it that ma kshanam atmageham, pitavadattach charitam nijebhyah. Sasambhramam tena jaladhipena प्रपूजितस्त्वं प्रतिगृह्यतातं उपागतस्तत्क्षणम् आत्मगेहं पितावदत्तचरितं निजेभ्यः.
ससम्भ्रमं तेन जलाधिपेन प्रपूजितस्त्वं प्रतिगृह्यतातम् उपागतस्तत्क्षणमात्मगेहं पितावदत्तचरितं निजेभ्यः. ससम्भ्रमं तेन जलाधिपेन प्रपूजितस्त्वं प्रतिगृह्यतातम् उपागतस्तत्क्षणमात्मगेहं पितावदत्तचरितं निजेभ्यः.
ससम्भ्रमं तेन जलाधिपेन प्रभूजितस्त्वं प्रतिगृह्यतातम् उपागतस्तत्क्षणमात्मगेहं पितावदत्तचरितं निजेभ्यः. ससम्भ्रमं तेन जलाधिपेन प्रभूजितस्त्वं प्रतिगृह्यतातम् उपागतस्तत्क्षणमात्मगेहं पितावदत्तचरितं निजेभ्यः.
Do one stanza 8 and then we'll stop. 8 and 9 goes together in meaning, so I'll tell you in the next class. Harim vinishchitya bhavantam etan, bhavat padalokana baddha trishnan nirikshya vishno paramam padam tat, durapam anyais, breaking at that ma, durapam anyais त्वमदी दृशस्तान्. हरिं विनिश्चित्य भवन्तमेतान् भवत्पदालोकनबद्धतृष्णान् निरीक्ष्य विष्णो परमं पदं तत् दुरापमन्यैस्त्वमदीदृशस्तान्.
So tat and duva uva
அங்க see அந்த ரெண்டு லெட்டர் இருக்கு. ஒன்னு வந்து the first in Sanskrit வந்து it has the word id there, okay? Id and then do, two letters. But and the id வந்து because we are pausing there, it becomes it because we are saying it separately. So that's why it's paramam padam tat it, durapam anyes.
Durapam, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. हरिं विनिश्चित्य भवन्तमेतान् भवत्पदालोकनबद्धतृष्णान् निरीक्ष्य विष्णो परमं पदं तत् दुरापमन्यैस्त्वमदीदृशस्तान्.
See the one time we are out of time.
Okay.
हरिं विनिश्चित्य भवन्तमेतान् भवत्पदालोकनबद्धतृष्णान् निरीक्ष्य विष्णो परमं पदं तत् त्वमदीदृशस्तान्.
Krishnaya Parabrahmane Namaha. And here today. Sandhanandhavabodhatmakamanupamitam कालधीशावधिभ्यां निर्मुक्तं नित्यमुक्तं निगमशतसहस्रेण निर्भास्यमानम् अस्पष्टं दृष्टमात्रे पुनरुपुरुषार्थात्मकं ब्रह्मतत्त्वं तत्तावद्भाति साक्षात् गुरुपवनपुरे हन्त भाग्यं जनानां कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि. See you. I'm going to see some of you all tomorrow at the Parayana. Have a good weekend. Bye everyone.
Thank you, Rajesh.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Rajesh.
Rajesh.
Bye.